I love playing UHC tournaments, but there is one slight issue with that. You see, anytime I try fighting anybody,
Oh, it's such a pretty day today.
and I'm just so bad at PvP. Whoa, why are you attacking me? How are you doing this? You must be cheating.
No, I'm not.
Don't headbutt me.
Skill issue.
I really am a trash can. If I wanted to actually hold my own in these tournaments, I needed to completely relearn PvP. So spread over the next few days, I gave myself a limit of 24 hours of total playtime to fix my keybinds, to learn how to handle pressure and improve as much as humanly possible. When I hit that limit, I will be forced to tier test no matter if I am ready or not. But first, I needed to see where I was starting.
It's finally time.
And I found out just how much I had to learn. Alright, first level of the challenge. Hopefully I get some really good tier. I'm hitting him, what is this? Oh, what am I doing? What was that? But I kept making stupid mistakes. How is he that fast? Alright, there is no way to I lose this. Welcome here, buddy. It's over for you, bro. That was honestly not great. I was winning the entire fight and I still managed to throw it. If I'm going to stand a chance at that tier test, I cannot keep playing like this. So after looking for some old footage, I realized my keybinds were making me way worse. The biggest problem being my webs and lava, because they were way too far on my keyboard, which made them easy to misclick. So after testing out a bunch of different setups, I decided to do something risky and I switched to these. I'm going to explain this most on later, but all I need to know is that it caused a lot of problems. So on hour 2 I decided to hop back on PvP Club to learn my keybinds while fighting, and this was not a good idea. I wanted to place lava. Oh, I forgot the keybind. I placed a cobweb under me to get to him, like... Oh, I wanted to place a cobweb there, what am I doing? Alright, this isn't going to work. It was clear that if I actually wanted to learn my keybinds, I had to do something different. So I hopped on single player to learn lava webbing, a technique where you web your opponent and instantly place lava on them for extra damage. I practiced this technique because one of the keybinds needed for it was a button on my mouse while the other was on my keyboard. I really needed to learn how to bind with both of my hands because it would allow me to utilize my entire hotbar in more situations, and at first I really struggled with it. But I knew this was the best way to learn, so I gave myself a challenge. Alright, my one goal is to hit 10 of these in a row. And I knew I was about to cook. Yeah, I had a long way to go. I started by trying to hit these stun webs while running and jumping around, which I thought would be more accurate to a fight. But that clearly wasn't working, so for the next 30 minutes I grinded lava webbing without moving as much, and I actually got pretty decent. But as I practiced, one really annoying mistake kept happening.
I'm pressing my co-op slot when I wanna switch to lava. Oh, I keep...
So to eliminate that mistake, I decided to slow down. And making that small change, combined with the practice I've already done, helped me so much that I managed to do this.
This has been taking me way too long. I'm not doing that bad right now.
That was nice. Yet I still wasn't satisfied with my performance. I technically hit the goal of 10 in a row, but I was doing it at a very slow pace. If I tried to do that during a UHC match, any decent opponent would kill me before I had the chance to do real damage. I needed not only consistency but also speed. So I completely disregarded the milestone and kept practicing for an hour until I could do it at speeds like these. And the best way to see if I truly improved was to play some duels. And it was clear that session let me learn a lot. I don't think I'm playing too bad right now. Okay, how did I miss that? That counts. Oh, yo. Nice, hey yo, let's go. I could finally say I've gotten way better at my new keybinds, but there's one pretty big issue.
You probably aren't subscribed yet. Genuinely, I'm only at 45 subscribers right now, so subscribing would help out a lot. But the other issue is, that took 4 whole hours, which means now I'm at hour 6. My ultimate goal is to beat a low tier 3 before I tier test, and at this rate, I'm just going to run out of time. So on hours 6 and 7, I decided to do something different. I watched high tier 1 UHC tier tests, and it really did help. For example, if you get fully drained, you can just create an infinite water source and get all of your water back. I also learned when to use G-heads and gaps and stun webbing. It works by breaking your opponent's shield and then hitting them, which allows you to get them in a web very consistently. And because I just spent 2 hours analyzing UHC tier tests, I decided the best way to test what I've learned was to fight a tiered player, and after a couple tries, I queued a high tier 5. He is high tier 5, okay wait, I need to eat. And even though I was beating him in melee, what's he doing? Every time I used a secondary, I lost some of my advantage. Let me eat this. And even though this was only a high tier 5, I still felt a lot of pressure. How did he survive that? Pretty sure I'm above high tier 5. Although I'm kind of struggling to kill him. Alright, there we go. I got the win, but I wasn't really happy with it. That fight was not clean at all, and I was making major mistakes every few seconds. Mistakes that against my future tier tester could cost me the entire tier test. I realized that trying to learn strategies like stun webbing while still having trouble hitting my opponent was completely useless. But just when I wanted to move on to my next learning method, I queued a low tier 3. And it wasn't close to a fair fight. He punished every single mistake I made to get a massive advantage. And the more pressure I felt, the worse those mistakes got, until I literally couldn't do anything to save myself. Yeah, I can't even heal here, like, what do I do? When that fight ended, I felt completely helpless, and I thought I stood no chance against that low tier 3. But looking back at it, I was getting a lot better. During the fight I drained his water, which was definitely not accidental, and I also tried lava webbing, but after the pressure got to me I dropped my G-head out and started making useless mistakes. There was something clearly wrong with my mindset, which I was going to realize really soon. But my aim was still way too inconsistent, so to fix it I had a very good idea. I was going to step away from UHC to practice axe duels. You see, grinding axe duels gave me a whole new perspective, and I could learn everything important about shield PvP without having to care about the secondaries. And I was not leaving axe duels until I got at least a round of a tier 3. Alright, time to work on my melee. One thing I've noticed is like, whenever I fight low tier 3s, I just get nervous, and I do something really dumb. Like I throw my G-head out and get into a 5. Like I keep dying into a stupid ways, I never get like a good fight. LeBron James strat. And after practicing for enough time, I eventually started improving. I know a strat here. I need to shoot over the shield and I can have. I even learned to pick up arrows. And my playstyle started to be backstabbing at any time I could. And eventually I queued the tier I wanted to kill for the first time. Oh, high tier 3 axe. This was my first chance to kill a tier 3, a high tier 3, a former tester of a month. This was a final test for my mechanics. If I could play well under this kind of pressure, I was ready to go back to UHC. Yo, okay, this is probably my last fight. I need to beat this guy. Seven. Okay, I can take that. I can take that. I won this. Nice, that wasn't even close. And by wasn't even close, I mean our connection to the server. I really wanted to feel great about beating a former tester of a month, but the truth is he was playing from Asia and my ping was just as bad.
It was a pretty hollow victory, but honestly the ping didn't matter to me. What mattered most was that for the first time in this challenge, facing a difficult opponent didn't make me panic. Winning that fight proved my melee was already decent, so I figured I should look back onto my previous mistakes and learn from them by analyzing my gameplay. So here I play with the crossbow wrong, and I charge in when I should be placing blocks. And here I use 3 hits to placing that lava. It's a really bad lava placement. Maybe now I could have placed it like a second ago, but here it's just not worth it. This was a good play, kinda confuse him. And here Okay, yeah, I didn't really say anything that made sense here, but what I learned was that I was really only making big mistakes and I was under a lot of pressure. And since this was UHC, one mistake cost me an entire round every single time. I already partially felt ready to tier test, but I still wanted to kill a low tier 3, and it just so happened I killed the same guy as before. Oh, I played against this guy before. Lock in. I went in and got some free hits, but as soon as he realizes I've improved, he's going to lock in. My only choice is to use a forbidden technique to stop him. And just as I thought, he gets confused and lets me go. I use this opportunity to attack, but he realizes what I did and plays even better than before. So now I try getting some hits by using my secondaries and I do a lot of really good plays. I get the water out of my inventory quickly and I use my lava to get more damage as well. And as I think I've won, he eats a G-head. The only option I see is to run, and while doing that I lose the rest of my webs in water, but it doesn't matter because this fight is still close enough for me to win it. I assure myself I'm better at melee during this exchange and I realize I'm winning, so I start getting nervous and doing some really bad plays. And after eating my last cap, I start losing hope. But I know that if I play it right, I can still win. And I'm dead. Even though I lost again, this was one of the fights I was actually proud of. I handled every situation as well as I could, and even though I was making mistakes, I still played more consistently than before. But I didn't win, so I went back on my mission to kill a low tier 3 the next day, right after a quick warm up. High tier 4 is my warm up.
Yo, I won against the high tier 4 as my warm-up. My first round as a warm-up.
I'm low tier 3, and the next round was against the low tier 3.
Okay. Cannot stress, but I gotta focus. Low tier 3. I'm stressing. What am I doing? Well, like... Not even close. He was way too aggressive. I did it.
That might have been one of the worst rounds that low tier 3 ever played, but even if I got lucky, I still felt that I've improved a lot since the start of this challenge. And after winning the fight, I finally thought I was ready to tier test. But then something happened. You see, I recorded this video 4 months ago, and back then Danger Mario was starting to get exposed. So to avoid dealing with all that, I decided to move to PvP tiers for a more accurate final tier. But there were a couple really big issues with that, most notably the fact I had to get used to a new server and learn a new UHC kit with the limited time I had. I basically had to throw away a lot of what I've learned, and I realized how much harder PvP tiers was. So the first time I joined, everything fell off. The gaps were taking longer to eat, the knockback was different, and those aren't excuses as to why I was losing so much all of a sudden. I had trouble killing a high tier 5 after destroying a high tier 4 and a low tier 3, but after a couple hours I finally adjusted. And this is the last fight I recorded before the tier test. I may have skipped a couple hours while editing, but after this I had no more time to practice.
Another low tier 3. Another. Let's go, sir.
And even though I learned a lot on PvP Club, I still wasn't ready to switch to PvP tiers, where every tier is harder to get. But I knew worrying about the tier I was going to get wasn't going to make me better.
No, I've got food on my mouse pad and I cannot move my mouse. Blah, blah, blah.
I was one hit away from winning. Switching servers made me have trouble with handling pressure again, because I know I wasn't used to this kit. I kept thinking I would lose, but I had no more time to overcome that problem, because it was hour 24. The time was up and I had to tier test right now.
This is lucky bad because there was no warm-up. I'm playing much worse than usual, that's all I can say. Okay, I'm gonna QD, I'm actually going to QD. Whatever, it's fine. I'm actually going to get like a terrible tier. And I dropped again. Okay, lock in. I have to go slow. I have to do this all.
This was the most pressure I faced so far, but I wasn't going to give up.
It's fine, bro. He's low tier 4. I can take this. Bro, he's good though, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know why I sounded like I was about to cry here, but I really needed to lock in.
I'm playing very safe right now. It's 0-3 right now. If I don't win this, I believe the tier test is over. I lost. Okay, I played so bad.
So I went over to Discord and the tier I got was high tier 5. Lower than I expected, but my improvement was still really good. I just couldn't handle the pressure of a tier test. If you want to see me try again, maybe even with a coach, comment down below to let me know. If this video gets decent engagement, I probably won't leave for another 4 months again.